I'm going to go out on a whim and say I'm going to see something really disgusting this game. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all going to witness something really, really revolting after this game. And I'm scared to pub if TNC win. That's what I'm going to say. I will not queue for a pub for at least a couple weeks if TNC win this game. Because I know something stupid's about to happen, John. I can feel it.
Yeah. And just think about it, right? With Translocator, Defense Matrix blinks you in a random direction. You can still refresh Defense Matrix with Rearm. It's a strong Dispel on top, so theoretically it's even better than a Blink, than a Refresh Blink, right? Because it has strong Dispel. It's a huge save for Tinker. Like, it can be equally annoying as it once was. That's the hilarious part. It can be.
I don't think I'm going to be laughing quite as much this game, John. Here we go. Rotations, young PH. Is he going to stick around? Jing? Going to kind of just force him away. Should be a 2-for-2 trade on the bounties anyway. Not too big of a deal. And it will be indeed. Start with that mid lane, of course. Here we go. The mid tinker of Yoe against young PH's mid Leshrac. How is this matchup meant to go, John?
I feel like it should still be Lesh favored, but I'm really just not entirely sure what the build is for Yoe. Do you go March here? Laser doesn't feel great against the Lesh, so you probably do go March of Machines. Just slowly farm up. It's a pretty long cooldown, to be fair. It's definitely a little bit easier for young PH. Just spam out the Lightning Storm, get some free right clicks off the Tinker. Yoe will start with the Laser, just to CS a little bit safer, and just to get some misses on young PH. But that shouldn't be enough to zone out the Lesh. Rune control is a big part of this lane, and stacking is a bigger aspect as well for Yoe. And this is something you'd want to try to build up for this Tinker to clear out for the march down the line. Let's see if they'll get the room out for that later on. So far, Yoe doing decently well enough with the laser spam. Again, just to block off young PH from getting some free right clicks off. And just to get that safety build up here. But it is a slower lane overall for Tinker. Like, the tempo is there for your Lesh. Once you hit level 3, maybe level 4, there's a lot of threat that you can provide here on young PH that should shove Yoe away, or at least make him think twice about crossing the river too hard.
Young PH actually takes a fair bit of damage. Like, Yoe is doing really good with the right clicks, and he actually goes for the March of the Machines, level 2 as well, so... I mean, I can honestly say I have no idea how this mid-tink is meant to be played, you know, because I don't care. So we'll see what Yoe does do. Level 2, March of the Machines, we'll see how he does play with it. Let's look at the side lanes, Jonathan. What about top lane? Palos and Cuckoo against Hor and Skill Lei. So far, it's a pretty nice lane for Palos. Of course, Cuckoo should also pretty much be uncontested. Like, he's playing Witch Doctor here, John. It's not exactly rocket science.
No. Very straightforward for Cuckoo. Has the Voodoo Festeration. Does not quite have level 2, so they can't quite line up for these kill shots yet. Both support's doing a great job of just blocking the camps with their bodies, though. So it is making it awkward. It is shoving into Palos. And in this lane, the CK is just so tanky that Hawk can't just double edge and win. So you have to think twice, and again, there's always the threat of when that level 2 is up, if Cuckoo can get Maldic, which he does have now, he can go for kills.
I mean, Hor's doing a lot of damage here to Palos. So, like, you can get the kill on the Witch Doctor, and they will. Cuckoo does secure first blood, but Palos almost died in the meantime. He'll get salved up here, and he'll be just fine. And Cuckoo will be very happy with the first blood bonus for himself. Already a pretty strong start here for the side of TNC.
Again, it's that level 2 spike. Just get Maledict out, Voodoo Restoration, with a nice Blood Grenade. You find that kill. They will kill off Zalrain as well, cutting off, trying to contest the pull. So good punishment across the board for TNC. A strong start. And this is the last thing we haven't really talked about, right? Like, Timbersaw, tiny, maybe a little bit slower. Again, into a Troll, the Timbersaw should feel good. It's a double melee lane into Timbersaw as well. If the trees aren't going to be there, there's no angle to play with for Zalrain, so it's a little bit trickier to get that presence out here from the tree, and that should make it a little bit tougher for Kish to just sit there and farm. And there's not much CS on our Timbersaw, to be fair, but there's always the threat of throwback here.
There absolutely is. You can't underestimate how much damage this Tiny deals now as well with that Basset, the crash landing. It's an unbelievable amount of damage with that toss back. And so far, again, TNC Predator off to a good start. It seems like every lane has practically gone their way, apart from maybe the mid lane, where you are seeing Young PH slowly pull ahead in terms of the CS. I say pull ahead, he's 2 CS ahead right now. Not the biggest deal, but it is certainly the start that you do require, at least on the Lesh, to try and salvage the other lanes that have gone quite badly so far for YG. So we'll see what Young PH can get done here with this farm escalation. The Leshrac, of course, is, again, not too far ahead of Yoe, just about 2 CS. Nothing to write home about. But it's certainly something for YG.
A small little boon. I think ideally you'd want to try to bully this Tinker out before he gets defense matrix levels. That feels like your big opportunity. Let's say level 6 for Young PH. While Yo is at his own 6, he does go greedy with March, so no value point in defense. They are still chasing out here, Jing.
Jing's alright for now, still being chased down though. It looks like he will eventually drop as just continuously chased down here by Kish. Will drop. Nice pick up here for Kish and Zorain. Of course, it was not Cox going down though. Cox still having a decent enough time here in the bot lane on the Timbersaw. Like, he probably appreciates his tiny dying because he kind of needs the space to get some CS here on the Timber.
Yeah, it's been a very slow start in terms of CS for Cox. He's getting some rune. It's a much more rune than you're seeing here for Ha. So you have that. They are starting to group around mid. And Yua should be well aware that something is amiss. They still understand this weak point of the Tinker, though. Bullied out before anything big happens.
Yeah, he doesn't have any points in defense matrix, so it's quite easy to burst him down if you do get the initiation. But now they'll see Zorain. Jing gets a nice ward down. Zorain looking for a D ward. Might be able to get it off, and actually does not. The deny was there from Jing. And Zorain is slowly but surely going to die as Jing takes the kill. How did Jing get the kill?
I do not know. I don't think there was a blood grenade either. You get blessed sometimes. Yo is not going to be crying too hard about that. You know, he gets to live as up top. Ha.
A bit of danger here, Haw. He'll go for a run. Cuckoo's still chasing him down with the biggest range I've ever seen on Voodoo Restoration. Look at that. I mean, how is this normal, man? He's still taking damage.
I love it.
It's literally half a screen.
It didn't need to have a wider AoE for sure. Ha! No.
Look, you're just chasing down Cuckoo. Why not? Why not? Look.
Love it.
What is this, man? Doesn't make any sense.
It's beautiful. That's what it is. Ice Frog's finest creation right here, Mike. I was a bit shocked the players are feasting.
I just wish there was a better animation so you could see, like, just the Haw taking damage every time Cuckoo's within range.
Yeah. It's just it's not even any burn effect on here. You're just melting. You know, you don't even have visual cue. That's of the AoE itself. No shenanigans for the Wisdom runes at the very least.
Bit of a miss from Young PH. He TP'd in to try and protect the Wisdom, but bit of a wasted time here for the Lesh. I don't think you want to give Yoe too much space either. Like, you kind of pointed out he went the greedier skill build. The thing is, if you give him the opportunity to just start popping off on the Tinker, you know, this hero, it still is feeling pretty broken in the right hands. And of course, Yoe has now hit level 6, so the shenanigans do begin. Meanwhile, Young PH, he does take down Cuckoo top lane. So you do find a nice little pickup onto the +5 Witch Doctor. But again, that is your Leshrac rotating to make that happen. And that is going to be at the cost of leaving this Tinker to start to catch up.
Yeah. Yoe does have level 3 March, so the pain is there for Young PH when he walks in. Just so funny to see the spell back in action, eh? The good old days, Mikey.
Yeah, people told me it wasn't good anymore, John. We'll see about that. I'll be watching very carefully here in this game 1 between these two teams. It looks like the damage was pretty ridiculous to me. So, Young PH thinking about trying to go after Cuckoo. Does think better of it. So that's the back off. Meanwhile, Kish.
What's he doing here?
Not really sure, but he is going to get out. Back down towards the bottom lane. Cox is currently chasing down along with Jing. They'll try for the tree and protector and Zorain. She outruns them for now thanks to the Stampede. They'll turn back across with Kish now joining the fray. Cox in trouble. Young PH onto Jing, so you're going to lose your Tiny. And Cox, he's still trying to run. So Cox is going to eventually be okay.
He's going to be fine. Buying some space out, you know, freeing up the top lane for Palos, freeing up a lot of room for Yoa to just clear out the triangle, which he is getting done, you know, March of the Machines. You've got the farm game back for Yoa. Nice and easy here for our Tinker.
Mid lane, push is going on. MPH thinking about chasing down Jing, but the Avalanche does make it rather hard, and of course Yoa is going to rotate to ensure they cannot continue. You know what Yoa can do, John, is he can defend the mid-tier 1 tower pretty much by himself if he wants to, because he has March. Top. Chase is on here for Palos and Cuckoo. They were diving in for Hor, but Hor is going to survive. Young PH does cancel his TP off though on the Leshrac, so no kill attempt to come here from the side of YG. But Young PH still top of the net worth board right now on the Lesh, having a really good time.
Yeah. I do like what they're doing here in YG, playing off the back of this Leshrac very early on, looking for some early kills with a lot of this magical burst Young PH has. There's no protection yet on TNC. It's really early to hope for any, like, early Glimmer Caves or BKBs, of course, so this is the big spike for Lesh. Kish, though?
Trouble. Chase is on. Jing will be there with the Avalanche toss combination if necessary. Kish, of course, does not have any points in Battle Trance yet. Level 8, but doesn't bother skilling it up, would rather go for the fervor. So a nice pickup, a very important pickup there for Cox. So they will slow down the Troll Warlord and allow Palos to start to overtake on the CK. It's kind of the thing with CK as well, like armlet into Orchid and you're ready to go whenever. You know, you don't really need too much else after that. Maybe a BKB.
Yeah, it's a very high tempo hero. I like that read from Palos. We've been seeing this build be highly effective for pretty much his entire regional qualifier. Again, he's just applying pressure onto the more farm-heavy Troll, slowing down his timing into the Maelstrom BKB, while also achieving, again, space out. They're getting some good stacks. Yoa is going to be able to clear it out later on. He is rushing the Ags here, so nothing too strange yet from her Tinker. Having the laser bounce is going to be nice. Still trying to hold on to mid, though.
Yeah, PH going to be a little bit cautious. Task will be thrown out by Cuckoo. They'll put an end to the push that was coming in from Young PH. But eventually, I mean, the next Edict, Young PH should have the Tier 1 tower pretty easy. Unless TNC intend on committing all their heroes to defend this mid-Tier 1. But I do not believe they will. Meanwhile, a toss back into the Tier 1 tower. Young PH will take down the tower. He'll take down Jing. Yoa has rotated with the Blink Dagger up, trying to chase down the Leshrac, but the Stampede is going to allow Young PH the distance to get away. That the chase is on from Palos, but he's lost vision. Here comes Cox. Everybody after the Leshrac, and they'll get him. So much committal from TNC to punish the Lesh, but they do finally punish him for getting that Tier 1 tower.
It's a pretty big kill. A decent streak on Young PH. Again, highest net worth hero. So you bleed that out onto Cox. Nice little take. They managed to secure their triangle off the back of that, as it could have been potentially stolen later on. Does lead to some early item spikes finally coming in. Cox has his full Kaya up, so does have a lot more output now for himself. And you are getting room for Palos to, again,
Zorain.
finish up the armlet already, although...
Yeah, Zorain's definitely dead here. There's no real chance of survival. With the Maledict applied, he is just going to slowly tick away. But Bosku, he needs to find him. Zorain. No, he's gone anyway. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of the thing as well, right? Like, you can hide in the tree line as the Treant, but, you know, Voodoo Festration is just unlimited range, apparently, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's a very fun spell. Can you imagine if somehow he had a way to widen it outside of, like, Bloodstone? Like, he had something like Necrophos and his facet to widen the range every
Why
kill?
not?
Oh, wouldn't that be beautiful? Exactly. The full screen. Just green. The screen is green.
It is. And if it rhymes, you know, they should do. I think so. But how are they going to nerf this hero? Like, at the very least, the AoE has to be, like, has to go down. It's just so dumb how big that range is.
Yeah. It's a little bit much with how big it is.
A little bit?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm downplaying it just a bit, you know, as a witch doctor player, right? You know? Let me have my fun.
Jing.
I mean, to be fair, I've always found it fun.
Avalanche going to be there. Young PH still looking for a chase, but will be out of range. They can look towards the top tier 1 tower. Yo is going to start with the March of the Machine spam. However, they'll pop Stampede from Hor.
Huh.
Not 100% sure for what. Hor's now in a bit of danger because Jing's chasing him down. Avalanche is up in 1. Jing won't bother though because Yoet does back his way up. And in the meantime, Palos is finding a lot of farm on the CK. Like, he's now very close to having the full Orchid up. He just needs the Cornucopia. And again, once that Orchid is available, like, Palos will just completely melt face. It is a very painful time against the CK.
Yeah, there's no counteraction just yet. No saves on the supports, of course. No BKBs up yet. Kish is trying to farm into that point. You do have the Yules being formed here for Young PH. You are going for a smoke play out. Palos is the one standing forward. They have vision here.
Well, Cuckoo, he's going to start on Zorain. Overgrowth will be committed to try and stop the Death Ward. Melodic was already applied, and Cuckoo, well, he'll need to run because now the cavalry is here, but they actually missed the slow. Hor doesn't jump in either with the blink. So Cuckoo actually makes it out. And he had really no right surviving that.
Yeah, they missed the mark. Yeah. That's the smoke going to be wasted fully on the side of Yangon unless they find Cuckoo, but this isn't really the target you want to go for. This is a lot of room out for Kish to clear out these stacks. Did already pop the battle trance, but slowly but surely, well, I'm not going to be able to fully clear it out safely here.
He's not out of danger yet. Cuckoo still wants him, but it seems like he will have the help sticking around him. So Zorain, maybe baiting Cuckoo. Finally, they will get the Witch Docked up. And they'll smoke up again. Through the twin gates they'll go. They'll try to find Yoet. But Yoet has already TP'd mid.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's some space being made by Cuckoo as well, just to, again, allow Palos the safety net. He does have that full Orchid up. You are starting to gun down this top. PH can just look for the Edict play in the fog, and he will.
He's not going to be able to finish him, though. Zorain is okay. Meanwhile, top lane, they are starting a fight. They've already found Cox here on the Timbersaw, so Cox will go down, but Yoet can now get to work as Cuckoo, looking to take down the Centaur, does get Hor. Young PH also dying to Cuckoo on the Witch Doctor, as now they find the Dark Willow. That's going to be another. She'll try for the deny, but it will not work out. Skill lay will drop. And things are just getting from bad to worse now for YGs. They've lost 3 targets. They might even lose a 4th because Yoet and Jing are going to find Zorain. And Yoet, he's got the axe. Here we go.
Yep.
The Shrink Ray is now available.
Yeah, the beautiful, beautiful Ags. I think the one big thing you do lose on Tinker is, like, again, you can't refresh items, so you can't just blink around, but you still have the safety net in Defense Matrix warping you, so you can actually afford to be more aggressive. Kish, just using the Battle Grants every single time to accelerate farm, is inching into that BKB. So again, this Troll Warlord should start to feel a little bit more confident in these fights once you have that protection up. TNC in their own time are going to be a little bit slower on the BKB, going for more, you know, intermediate items in the first place, but it's not holding Palos back. Not able to really play aggressively yet with that blink either. Outside of that movement on Cuckoo. They need to find higher value targets here on Yangon. Again, they've done a great job of clearing out tier 1s. They still hold on to their mid and top. But it does feel like as this game scales on, you're going into late game scenarios up against a CK and a Tinker. And the Tinker is the big wild card factor as to how much it can do in the middle.
Oh my god. That's your mid Leshrac just disappearing to an avalanche toss with some whirling deaths out from Cox. That's a concerning sign, John. Like that was not a hard kill.
No. You don't have that much HP on Lesh just yet. At least not until this full Bloodstone's up. Doesn't have enough to really tank through up front.
Oh no, skill lay.
Jing?
He does not see Jing. Or the skill lay does not get noticed yet, but now they are in trouble. Chase is on. Cox eventually going to find Skill A. He'll try for a TP play out, but it's not enough. Cox has got plenty of damage available. 7k advantage, John.
Yeah, and it's just set to go get worse. Mid-tier 1 about to fall. They do tip Kish for whatever reason, as they are starting to make a move onto Palos.
Yeah, Palos, caught with his pants down up in the top lane, does get caught out and does die. That's a massive one for YG, as now they'll look towards Cox. He will chain his way up, but Cuckoo cannot. Cuckoo in trouble as Jing will pop the big avalanche, and now Cox! Oh, that's a lot of damage. The laser will fly through. Kish, he will be able to at least find Cuckoo, but now he needs to run. The chase is on, the BKB just about to wear off. Cox right behind him. Jing's gonna find the tree and protect her, but Cox, he wants the big fella. He wants Kish, and he's got him. Kish is down. My goodness, Cox just doing too much on the Timber as Zorain plants a tree. Cox will barely miss out on the kill here for the Treen, as they will actually terrorize. Young PH now showing up, but this is the stun. Still Curse Crown will land, but Yoez here. Be careful, Young PH. This is not the safest kill. Jing, get your stop. Yoez still sticking around, feeling like he might need to back out, does do so. They'll take Jing's life. It still feels like very desperate times here for YG. It's still a 7k advantage TNC's way. And I'll tell you, like, that's with Palos dying alone. If Palos was alive for that fight, I think it would have been completely different. Palos maybe learning the hard way not to try and go for solo pickoffs anymore. Not before you have the BKB up.
Yeah, certainly not quite necessary here for his CK. Just kind of needs to sit back, farm, utilize the space. Yarsten can hit critical mass now on the side of TNC and be able to take their Tormentor out as well. See who gets the nice freebie shard here. I mean, the output from this Timbersaw with a Twisted Chakram Facet, it's kind of insane that he gets a free secondary Chakram at level 6. No other way to do it. Sure, it kind of spins around, but the output from just getting slashed by that is humongous. So you have to respect it. And we are seeing the effect of that. That's Cox without his full defensive capabilities as well. Eternal Shroud yet to fly out into the Yules. So he's going to be even harder to pin down in the middle of these engagements. For the side of Yangon, we are starting to see some shining moments, right? Like Kish, Young PH, his farm is inching into that Bloodstone. He's going to have a lot more HP to play with. He's going to have some spell lifesteal that can sustain true in the middle of these fights. And again, Kish is starting to be that big hero just with a BKB if they can find these fights. It's still a concern how much the scroll can be kited once the BKB fades down though. TNC off with a smoke play here as Tree. See if they can find a good hunt here.
I mean, if they can find a good fight, like they can go right into the Roshan pit. They're going for, or they're going to find Zorain. It's not the biggest kill. They'll take it. Top lane, however, they could go for an even bigger fight if they do wish. There are 3 heroes here from YG. It's like Yoet. He'll just clear out the creep wave. He'll head back towards the fountain. It does not seem like YG want to even try for that Tinker attempt. And you are at the stage now where the Tinker is top of the net worth. Surprise, surprise. Somebody told me March of the Machines was not that busted, and because rockets are gone, Tinker's not a thing. I concur, Jonathan. I concur heavily.
It's not a thing? You're saying this Tinker is
No, I'm concurring that idea, Jonathan. I think the Tinker is certainly a thing.
Oh, yeah. It's... I mean, think about it. Like, he already, without any big int items, just the Ags plus 2 nulls. Right? He already has 108 int. That's about 32% cooldown reduction on your items. He's gonna eventually hit that max of 60. So you're still gonna have ridiculous blink timings anyway, with an arcane blink that you normally tend to build, as he will dig into the Roshan now. I mean, sure, look, Palos' Yao's scoreline is not impressive, right? 007. He's been there to assist, but just the fact that he's pumping out all of this free AoE damage with safety nets in defense matrix, with safe range for the laser, the mischance alone is ruining Kish every time he doesn't have BKB, and earlier on when he didn't. Like, it makes it... It's not as, like, outright terrifying, I know it's not like the old stompy smurfing tinkers in your matches, but it's still annoying. It's still very annoying to play.
This is more like a Dota 1 tinker. Like they never let you push. It's just infinite march spam. Yeah, they don't have rockets. Who cares? But they can be the most annoying heroes now in the game. Just spam march the whole game. Like that's all Yo has done. That's literally all he's doing. Just triangle.
He's lasered a couple of times.
Yeah, he's thrown a few lasers out. Props to him. Triangle's gone again. Back to the fountain. Back to the top lane.
So disgusted.
I am disgusted, Jonathan. You have no idea. Look at him. Just why
he's
are we
back,
not
Mikey.
Let's look at the Tinker. Why not? This is high tier game. All he's doing is fun.
You know, at the least, Mikey, we don't have a motivate trust-like team with Jackie on our court up against a Tinker of Yoe. No, we're not dealing with that in these qualifiers at the very least. Not yet, Mikey.
That could be tomorrow. Let's not get too confident, John. Don't give him any ideas. Jackie might be watching this matchup. Shout out to Jackie if he is watching. I'm sure he is. We love you, Jackie.
Why would he be watching us, Mike? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, Jackie likes me, Jonathan, right? I don't know about you, but he told me he liked my casting once upon a time.
Yeah, that's true. I was there. He did specifically say you.
Yeah. He was the only player that actually said, I like this guy. It's the Leshran. Gets caught out. Bloodstone already popped. Problem is he didn't pop the Pulse Nova, so it looks like young PH is as good as dead.
That's one kill for Yoe. The laser cleans up.
Yeah.
And the Arcane Blink isn't too far off. This is when the Tinker really just gets so obnoxious again. And he can't refresh items, but that cooldown, man, it's almost like he doesn't need it.
Why? What is this level 25 talent? Rearm grants 50% bonus magic resist. Why?
Yeah. Why not?
4 goes down now. 4 dies here to Jing, apparently. Don't get it wrong, by the way. Yoe did not help. He's just here to farm the creep wave. But we'll be right back out just a moment.
No credit whatsoever.
Blink. And Jing now has a 3.5 second blink. So you went from being able to rearm it to now just not having to ever. And it's 3.5 seconds anyway.
Yeah. Isn't it great?
Oh, good. So he presses one less button and he's less vulnerable. All he has to do is position himself better. That's all you're saying.
Exactly.
Top lane.
Exactly. Oh.
Yes, John. Go on. Finish your point.
See, this is what I'm saying. How do you kill the Tinker when he rearms Defense Matrix, you blow up Defense Matrix, guess what? He rearms, he has Defense Matrix, another strongest spell, he gets to just blink all over the place, he'll have his blink eventually back off cooldown, he has a 50% cooldown BKB, which isn't as impressive, mind you, as Refresh, but again, on Arcane Blink, it's pretty much the same. This hero is, again, it's just a changed playstyle.
But I got told on Twitter and Facebook that apparently the rockets disappeared, John, so Tinker's not a hero anymore.
Oh.
That's what I got told.
That's true. I guess Yo's not playing a hero, he's playing Farm Simulator. There is a point here. To be fair, I feel like if you removed Yo from this equation, I don't know if this game changes that much. Well, let's also be a little bit frank. He's 108.
Skill late. Lost over half his, like literally 3/4 of his HP gone to one laser, and he's down.
Jesus Christ.
You say it wouldn't be different, John, but the thing is, he's not allowing any lane to push out. And this is where I think the Tinker's the most busted with March in the Machine. Like, people said this wasn't a problem. There is not one lane that will push out now. Never. Look at the lanes.
You know, I think it's prime time for Nyx players to feast again. Is Zalrain?
Please bring him out. Zalrain in trouble. He's dead. No chance of survival there. They've got a nice split up. They might be able to take down Cox, but he'll get the Yules off. Meanwhile, Cuckoo still surviving, walking away, finally goes down. Terrorize, it lands on Cox. They'll find a second. They'll take the Timber down. So a nice team fight now for YG. Mind you though, John, they do lose both their supports and they do buy back on skill lane. So you do have those big committals, but the gold chain certainly goes the way of the Radiant.
It's an important set of kills for Yangon now to find just to keep themselves in the game. They are hanging on to that last outer tower very nicely here as well. The unfortunate thing is it doesn't feel like they can really utilize this for much. They can't push on to tier 2. Maybe you can get some forward wards here for the side of Yangon to have more control.
He got a psychic
What is it,
headband,
Mike?
John.
The
So he gets
psychic?
plus 15% intelligence as well. So now the blink's down to 2.8 seconds. So how much lower can it go? He's buying an 8th lens. Well, that's good.
Isn't this beautiful? Ice Frog's finest, Mike.
He's
You love
really
to see
farmed
it,
the whole
don't you?
map. The whole map's been
Yeah.
farmed. Like Cuckoo's trying to hit some creeps. Yoa says, no, sir, that'll be mine. Thank you.
Yeah.
See you later.
Surprisingly, Palace is still getting more CS. I think Yoa, you're lagging a little bit behind there, buddy. You need to take that farm away from your CK, sir.
Smoke up. Mid lane. Yo, it might pay for his team here. Young PH is going to see him. The question is, can you actually kill him? The March of the Machines is there. Jing, he'll get the avalanche off. They found the Leshrac. He's got help by him, but can they keep him alive? It's looking okay for now. The Bloodstone will heal him up as Cuckoo, dropping very low, gets into the Voodoo Switcheroo. Meanwhile, this Leshrac slowly but surely dropping down. They've got him locked up. And Palos will take him out. Notice how they couldn't fight. Because there's like 3 March of the Machines going there.
Hell yeah. Look at that. Whoa. March of the Machines. You've got, Voodoo Restoration as well. You just don't want to be there. It's like a toxic swamp in Dark Souls, Mike. I know you'll understand that, isn't it? Right?
What's that place called? What's the map? Everyone knows it too. It's the
I
worst
don't even
map.
know.
The toxic map. The one you
Yeah.
get poisoned and toxic
Yeah.
every 2 seconds. What's it called? How could I forget it?
I don't know, Mikey.
Anyway,
But
Blight Town.
That's basically...
It's Blight Town.
Yeah,
This is Blight Town. That's what it is.
It really is. In such wide radiuses. It just feels obnoxious to play into. Like, you cannot even fault Yangon for not wanting to deal with any of this. Because how do you deal with it? You've got to be able to instantly lock down his Tinker. Hope that you can chain stun him through the defense matrix popping the first time. Right? That's the big one. He gets a strong dispel. He gets blinked into a random direction. You have to instantly jump him again. And it just doesn't... They haven't even tried. Xero, that's on Yoa. Right, so he gets to just tickle away with the March of the Machines, spam his laser from a million miles away with a Psychic Headband. And he's feasting right now.
Good lane. T3 mid tower now under siege. Yoa starting with the spam. It makes it really impossible to defend. Like, how are you going to defend when there's this many March of the Machines being used? Like, what are you going to do? Look at this. That's it. Tier 3 tower gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Young PH is
answer.
dead, but what's the answer? Kish?
The answer is nothing.
Kish will just die at the top lane. That's the answer, apparently. BKB pop, TP away. They get the Melody, they'll get the Voodoo Switcheroo, but that's not going to be it. If Cuckoo used the actual Death Ward instead of Voodoo Switcheroo, I think he might have actually had that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's
It's
very
over.
well been killed, but yeah, they just waste some time. They're cutting off farm space for Kish to try to grow bigger. I mean, our troll has been doing pretty good with what he can, right? Like, he's gotten enough space out. He's got the refresh, double BKB, double battle trance into a nullifier. As they
Young
catch
PH can't really afford to die like this, but Young PH in a bit of danger. Still trying to survive, does get the Yules off in time. Meanwhile, Battle Trance was popped here, but he's just getting constantly Yules up. Kish just can't get anything off. He'll refresh now with the refresh orb he does have. He'll take down Palos. They've got the CK down, but can they get the rest of them? They'll chase him up. Yoa, he's the big target. Skilllay's going to find him here on the Tinker, but he'll still be able to blink away as now Cuckoo trying to run. Gets the switcheroo off. Will still be okay. Skillay might just drop and does. Kish still trying to chase him down, but Jing now with the avalanche toss combination will toss him away. So they got Palos at the least. They get a great fight for themselves. And that's going to be about it. No, it's not. Yoa's not done. Yoa's going in on his own. Here we go. I love Tinker John. Look at this. How great is this hero? How great is this hero, Yoa? He'll find another. Avalanche toss up on a Young PH. Don't worry, John, there's no rockets. There's no rocket spam here. Young PH. Still chasing. Onto the tiny they go. Jingle survived. The laser's out. Kish forced to pop battle trance just to try and survive. But he's going to miss everything. The laser wouldn't allow him to hit, but he's run out of mana. Yoe can't keep going, but you've got Cox. Cox will take care of it. Tips out for Palos.
Just like that. Because he's the only casualty, of course. He's got to get it to hips there. Boss Cuckoo. That's his own way of head nudging, of course. I'm sure there's going to be some head slaps later on, as is tradition. The high ground siege continues for the side of TNC. I love that Yo is going for the Octarine as well, although he switches for the Lincolns. Tries to play smarter here, get some defense going for himself. And YG, again, it doesn't feel like their options are great. They get this good isolation on Palos, it's just not enough. Like, the damage is still there with Cuckoo around and Maldic. The damage is still there with Cox and Yoe. Doesn't feel like taking care of the CK is enough at all.
Nope. Certainly not. Not
oh,
for
look
now.
at this. Yoa is going for a nice little Kanda. That's something we've all forgotten for a Tinker.
Kanda?
Ain't that nice?
Oh, why not? Yeah, that's great.
Oh. Sounds juicy. Oh, and cooldown reduction, Mike. That's going to be down to, what, 3 seconds every Kanda?
Yeah. Oh, it works on
because he has item cooldown.
Oh my god.
Right? Isn't that great? Wow.
This isn't right. This is actually just wrong. And I knew it. I knew it as soon as I saw the changes. They were like, they told me Tinker was garbage. I'm like, no, it's not. Reddit's crying for now. They'll find out soon. Don't worry. You watch, John. TI13's a Tinker patch. Mark my words. Roshan's on.
When are we getting Shaker matches, Mike?
Nah, he'll be back soon. Don't worry. He's going to be back anytime now.
Hopefully. As you said, Roshan being taken, that does have a banner. Unfortunately, I don't see them reaching high ground anytime soon here on the side of Yangon, but the secondary life will be a big boon to Kish. He still needs so much more farm. He's trying to go into a Nullifier and Mjolnir. He's been working onto that Nullifier since he finished the refret. Is making some small progress towards it. But they've got 2 Raxes down. They've got 2 lanes constantly shoving in. It feels impossible to even hope to go onto any objective with the threat of Yoa just spamming all of his stuff around. The threat of the March just clearing out your waves. Not great. At least Zalrain does manage to bail out this time around, so no freebies for the side of TNC.
Look, there's
Trying
no
to see
lanes.
what else helps him here.
There's no lanes being
There
forced
isn't.
out. They're like, YG have no map space. None of their lanes can be forced out. This is the thing. Like, if you've ever watched a BSJ video, John, he tells you just push out lanes and you win the game. You know? Like, this is literally it, though. This is it. Just push out the lanes over and over
look,
again.
It's even worse, Mike. It's even worse. 2.4 second phylactery.
Oh,
See what
good.
the con is there, but 2.4 seconds.
Good.
Ain't that nice?
Very nice. So now every 2.4 seconds, your laser suddenly does 540 damage, which is fantastic. I mean, 530. My math was a little bit off. That's fantastic.
Sounds right to me. Sounds nice. Seems good.
Here we go. Top. Kish. Careful, sir. Kish, pop the BKB. Pop the BKB, Kish. He'll lose the Aegis. Okay. Kish, pop the BKB. Run. Get out of there. TP out. Alright. We're good.
We were asking this question when the game came in. You know, Yangon 2-0 TNC in the first Open Qualifiers. What would the Peacemaker do? He's bringing peace eventually, Mike.
Peace
Looks like Cuckoo is here to bring peace.
Not with me. He's not trying. He started a war with me over this draft. TNC. Onto the high ground they'll go. One lane of Barracks is left standing down at the bottom lane, but they won't care for that. They want young PH's life. They'll toss him right back into the loving arms of Yoe. You do have Hor trying to help out, but he's found nobody with his stun. Everybody will just casually walk out, and now they'll jump right back in. The bouncing lasers are out already. They try to chase down Yoe, but there's no hope in hell of finding this Tinker. He'll survive all the way. As meanwhile, Palos just taking everybody else on. No care in the world. Kish, he's popped his battle trance. He'll try to fight back, but who are you even fighting? He's still going, still chasing down Palos, but the Avalanche is out to lock him down, and Kish is dead. So is Zalrain. No buyback. It's time to call. This game's over.
Oh yeah, big call. It's just way too much. This drafting from the side of TNC, going straight for the Witchdoctor, building up the strong lanes. Witchdoctor, CK, just Witchdoctor.
Game 1, and Game 1 is now officially underway. Don't forget as well, like, you've got this LC to worry about. Like, even if the Void does end up flopping a little bit, like, Hawk could pop off with this IO combination. You never know. We'll have to wait and see. By the way, I'm not sure if you noticed, John, but Cox did go back for the other facet, so doesn't go for the Magic Missile facet. That's all right. I would have liked to see it, but turns out he wants to be a bit more serious about it. It's fine.
I mean, don't get me wrong, when I did try that Magic Missile facet, and it does feel good. I just think the Soul Strike feels so much better. Like it just feels so good. Like 1.5 BAT, a 0.2 the reduction is just huge in how you play lanes. Okay?
Not to mention, you feel like you're in Dota All Stars when you pick that facet, don't you, John? It takes you back.
Yeah.
It takes me
all
back
the way
too.
back.
It was a good feeling to see that. Shout out to whoever came up with that idea. From Valve, that is. Cox, he's gonna go for a flank. Gish, we gotta be careful. That's a lot of damage with the Sleight of Fist, and Yoe actually got the Bounty Rune as well. 3 for 1 is the trade-off. Jing, he'll go for a bit of a run. Zorain doing a fair bit of damage, but Jing will be just fine. That's kind of another thing you can't underestimate. Like, in fact, they keep going.
Oh god.
Cox, he's back. Zorain's dead. And Kish, Time Walk in 1. He should be fine, but man, that's a lot of damage. And he's got no regen. He has 0 regen on this Void.
Yeah. They only got the 1 bounty as well. And he still manages to get enough for the Tanguis to come in. And the TP of Zorain will be fine. But look at the damage on Cox. I know we're looking at mid, but I want to talk about his Venge. 70 damage in lane, right? An attack every 1.06 seconds. How do you trade? How do you trade with that? And that's just with double circlet, double branch, 1 slipper Vagi. Once you hit like your right band bracer, it feels so obnoxious. This Venge just does so much right click damage. You have to respect it. Still, again, we were looking at mid. Should talk about that mid. Very boring lane, mind you. DK versus Ember. Yoet on that Ember up against Young PH and DK. Young PH should hold steady. Yoa did go for Chain Gang this time around, so looking for more control for his team, which I do get, but otherwise a very static lane. Rune control a little bit more important for Yoa. Young PH shouldn't be shoved out of this lane whatsoever. Just going to be down to farm. Maybe you get a rotation out by 5 to 6, but beyond that, you're just poking, prodding, and farming up happily here.
Kind of stupid. Like, this Chain Gang facet's kind of ridiculous. Like, 4 chains? It's kind of nuts. It's, top lane, Zorain's dedicated. Here's the thing, like, this minus armor between Jing and Cox, like, it is very overwhelming. Like, the Swarm plus the Wave of Terror. Like, if this Disruptor gets a little bit too close and the Magic Missile lands, he's just dead. It happens so quickly, too.
And there's no counterplay. And that's without anyone having a Blightstone as well. Not even necessary. You just have enough minus armor on hand with just your abilities. It's going to be a bit of a hellish lane for Zorain. Kish should still be able to find some semblance of farm, but not the comfiest of times here for a Faceless Void for sure. Last lane, we have Lookout down bot. Skill Lei and Ha on the IO Legion Commander, which can be an overwhelming combination up against Palos on his Tiny and Cuckoo on the Phoenix. Cuckoo does go for the hotspot, as it does feel really busted. It doesn't feel necessary for the Dying Light here. So you will have a lot of sustain. You'll have a lot of burn for that DK down the line. On the 1v1 scenario for Ha and for Palos, there's not much concern for Palos here, at least.
Zorain's just being abused right now top lane. Like, Jing's just chasing him down with the support wave, but not leaving him alone. Like, there's nothing he can do. It's either you sit by the T1 tower and soak XP off your Void, or you just run across and don't die. Is Yoet mid lane chasing down Young PH, but Young PH is alright. He will survive. Yoet just was waiting for the chains to be off cooldown again, but it wasn't quite there. In the meantime, though, the lanes have been going pretty badly, I would argue, for YG. Like, the CS doesn't make it look too bad, but when you think about how much harassment's being traded, it is certainly very favorable for TNC Predator.
And that it is. This top start for Cox is overwhelming. 20-12, 21-12 in terms of CS. Up against a 12-1 Void. Almost times 2 on Kish.
Zorain
It's just
gets a
maddening.
glimpse away. He's going to be alright. Zorain will make it. Very, very close call though. As Horn out, bottom lane, in danger, trying to survive. Not quite. Skill late. Had no regen to throw out. So the LC will die. That's even worse news because your LC was having a semi-decent time, but not so much anymore.
No, certainly not. All the lanes for Yangon just feeling a lot slower than you'd want them to be here. And, I don't know, like, you're going to need a lot of farm on Kish. You're going to need at least the Blade Mail, Phase Boots on Ha. Once you have 6, you're going to have to try to look for relocate plays to start to catch up here. Maybe when Young PH hits like around level 8 on the DKs when you'd expect maybe a level 6 to be up for skill lay. What's up? What happened?
Zorain, dude. I feel so bad for the Disruptor. Every time he sees Jing, he's rushing to press glimpse. And now he's lost his courier. Like, you can see how afraid he gets every time Jing approaches him. It's just immediate glimpse at every single time. No hesitation.
He can't do anything. You know, that's your gameplay right now. It's this Disruptor. At least he's the one copying the attention. There's a little bit of room for Kish. Not much. Some room for him to at least try to build up. I don't know. It's still a free run for Cox going into power treads. They are rotating down onto mid.
Oh boy. Young PH dropping is not a good feeling if you are YG. And that's what I'm saying about this support Weaver. It's just too much. Zorain again has to glimpse away. It's just like, get the hell away from me.
It's not like Jing even cares with how low Shikuchi's cooldown is, so still gonna be able to chase around like a maniac. Again, the lanes overwhelmingly in TNC's favor. Only really Ha having some play down bot. Some good semblance of farm here for the LC, but way behind in levels. Already rotating up top as well with Cuckoo showing up. Nice forward ward. Wants to find more kills here.
It's alright. What's he meant to do? What's he meant to do, man? He can't do anything. Kish. Run, Kish. He'll time lapse or time walk away rather, but the chase continues. Magic Missile is up in 5. They've got Wave of Terror back up and available. If Cox can get within range, and he certainly can, Cuckoo will be able to secure the kill. These minus armor strats, you tend to forget about them, but the moment you see it again, I mean, it's just, Jing, what are you doing? Get the hell out of there. Just tank and T1 tower hits.
Just for laughs, you know? Just for a bit of a giggle. We'll go for a reset. Love these wards coming out. Look at these ward lines from TNC. Again, this is something we've seen from them even during their time as Darling. Good line across the top, cutting off any farm spots. There is room to farm. Push out mid now. Young PH with the Dragon form and the Kritzkrieg Ayo are able to melt through the tier 1, but Yoa is ready to play.
T1 mid
Just
tower.
doesn't have his teammates.
He does not. He's by himself. His team is not coming. Yoa, trying for a deny. We'll get stunned up immediately. He'll be okay. There's no rules for anything dying. He's got a remnant ready to go whenever. But a pretty big pick up there for YG. They're able to finally find the mid tier 1 tower. It is to be somewhat expected considering you do have a Dragon Knight, of course, but still very important nonetheless.
Does open up a little bit more tempo for the side of Yangon. They can invade into that bot jungle a little bit more confidently. They've got the Watcher under control. They already have some forward wards here to enable themselves to play, sneak around. They are still not quite at the dual point for Ha. You can't really go in for some big relocate plays yet, not that you have the levels on your IO anyhow. And again, that's the hurting point here for Yangon. You've got the strong start for your DK as they get the glimpse on Cuckoo.
Cuckoo will just accept the fact that he is dead. No real chance of getting out of that one. Sort of pick up from the YG boys. It seems like the big fear right now is going to be how you deal with Cox. Like, Cox is going to be a huge issue. He's building an Echo Saber as well, I think.
Yeah, that's the way to go. This Echo Saber gets some stats up as a universal type. I wouldn't mind an early Ags, can be a lot of utility as well. They are chasing bot.
This would be a great pickup if they can get it. Problem is, Hor has not got within range for the jewel. He does eventually get there, but YG have already given up on the chase, and now, well, the T1 tower is under siege, but the TPs are incoming. Jing, oh, the immediate glimpse back. Zorain not messing around, gets rid of that pesky bug. He will reveal the fact that he's got wards on the high ground, but it won't matter too much. Yoe now showing up, will show underneath that dire vision. But immediately just retreats. Doesn't want to borrow this. His mid lane, Kish now fighting Yoe. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they are still chasing Cuckoo. Eventually, with the stun flying out and the duel committed, they will be able to secure a very nice victory here for Hawk.
Are getting whatever they can find. It's important for his duel win for Ha. Not the biggest target, but certainly something to get the ball rolling here for the side of Yangon, as they will find a tier 1 in exchange. I'm just concerned about all of the space being provided to these bigger cores. Like, again, Pablos, he has decent farming space on a tiny. He went for no avalanche, some value points in toss, really focusing on tree grab his core, so maximizing his farm potential. Cox, free reign up top. Echo Saber not too far off. And Yoe not under any pressure at all. You don't have the best control for this Ember until level 6 is up on Zorain, which is so slowly creeping up, at the very least, so the static storm threat can come into play there, but not quite. 6-2, net worth lead. It's not the biggest for TNC at the least. And for Yangon, again, the important thing is finding some space for Kish to build up and to get these initial timings on young PH, if at all possible.
Be a 6-2 scoreline for now. 1k advantage the way of TNC Predator. Cox still top the net worth board on the Venge. Having an extremely good game, of course, working on towards that Aghanim Scepter, which makes the hero feel unbelievably annoying to try and deal with. Kish, still trying to farm up towards his Maelstrom timing, of course, on the Void. He is very far behind. 3.8k net worth is what the Void currently has. It's not a very good start at all for a Faceless Void, and a very slow kind of catch-up game now for him. Especially against the Tiny of Palos, who is currently looking towards Hor down at that bottom lane. Hor, he's got skill later come in, but the Avalanche, of course, is going to land on 2. And it might just be a 2-for-1 special in a moment. The skill late, going to pop the overpower and run, but they've got at least the Iron. So Hor gets his way out. Skill late, not so much.
Get some decent punishment out. Again, only the supports falling in the last few fights. Some key items finally coming in. Echo Saber done on Cox. Ha does have the full Blade Nail, so you can have a little bit more confidence in taking some bigger duels, but has to be a little bit cautious of how far forward he goes. No threat without Yoe. Still playing in the line of fire. And so much space given out here for Cox, and a little bit surprising. Kish is forced to go for like 4-1-1 build, pocketing 1 skill point to see if he can get away without Chrono. Might be able to use that Chrono now if he skills it up.
Desperately would love yourself a bench kill. They'll jump in. Cox will get a magic missile out onto the DK. He'll try to run, but eventually they should have the damage output as the Venge will finally go down. Looking for a deny even as Cox with skill A will take the aggro from the creeps. So Kish going to be very happy seeing that Venge finally dying. Hopefully YG can really start to play off of this. Bottom, they are. Cuckoo being jeweled up here by Hor. And it won't lead to a duel victory, but it does lead to a kill.
And again, you'll take what you can get on Yangon, considering how far behind you are. Just a little bit slow on the relocate out, but still does manage to make it work. Still up top.
Skill late, gonna lose his life. Kish rather able to get away at the very least. So they'll take the IO kill once again, but Kish will not get caught with his pants down. Still a very slight lead for the side of TNC Predator. But again, nothing to write home about. I think that's still the main concern, and I know you've already kind of said this, but Palos is probably the main concern, because you compare the farm compared to the Void, he's already over 1k ahead. Not crazy.
Yeah. Definitely not. Echo Saber already up, so his farming pace is already up there. Into the Shadow Blade, probably into the Silver Edge this game. Palos is going to be hitting like a truck relatively soon, considering all the space given. The kills for White here are nice, it's not in the targets they'd want. You want to punish this Tiny early on, while Craggy Exterior is at level 1 with Gruul at level 1, before the damage mitigation really becomes an issue. You've got Static Storm ready in Zorain. You can kind of look for a play onto Yoe if he presents himself. It's just, The cores on TNC are being relatively conservative. You know, hanging in jungle, protected by sentries and wards. Only really Cox maybe in the firing line. So they can't really angle for these higher value targets. For Yangon Galacticos as skill late. Just gets poked a little bit.
It's going to be just fine. I suppose if you're YG, you're more than happy to just take your time with this style of game, considering you know that Kish is going to be able to outscale practically anyone on the Void. And I kind of say that. The thing is, like, even the supports like Jing on the Weaver, at some stage you do start to transition into a core. It can be very annoying to deal with as well, comparatively to, say, the IO Disruptor, which don't.
Yeah. I think one thing as well holding YG back is that it doesn't look like they're confident enough to try to force something with early Chrono. I feel like they've got the damage for early Chrono though. Like again, Static Storm is a follow-through or a setup for it. You've got some damage on Young PH. You can kind of finagle a duel off the back of the Chrono as well if someone's alive after it. There's a value point picked up now by Kish. So it does have something to play with, and they are trying to engage here.
Certainly are. Zorain will go down already. Palos able to pick up one. A skill lane will follow. Cuckoo able to pick up that one. And now Young PH. The TP cancellation is out from Cox. That'll be a third kill to go the way of TNC Predator. I'll tell you what, they made that fight look very easy, John. No real contest that time around.
I'm surprised they were still hanging around at bot jungle. They couldn't get their wards down. That's when Skillay was, you know, running up into the ramp, getting poked by Yoa. That should already have sent warning bells as to trying to play in that area. But he still forced the issue.
Jewel out, bottom lane. Poor. Very nice pickup for himself with the Blade Mail. Able to close the gap on the Weaver, secures a nice little duel victory. And gets the blink up on the LC now. So you've got some nice gap close here on the LC. Some nice initiation. And of course, considering the state of the game for YG, like, you do want Horde to start to pop off on this LC. He could be a big deal.
You do. Is rushing into the Ags, so wants that debuff immunity, wants a longer duration duel just to pin someone down, which I do appreciate here for Ha. As long as he gets the room to farm it up. Does feel like the map space being gained by TNC is still significant. And your sacrifices on Kish is still huge. This Faceless Void is still bottom network for not by a huge margin, only about 800 gold, but still a cause of concern.
Young PH. Oh, he's absolutely melting. At least the IO Relocate going to be able to save. But you see with the Spirit Vessel Sunray, it's just so much damage. They're going to TP mid to try and maybe help out. Maybe save the IO or use him as bait. Hor is here. He's got Blink Jewel up available now. As Young PH going to jump in. They will Jewel out Yoe. The Sunray is out there with the egg being committed in the Avalanche toss. The Chrono, it's committed, but is it enough? It will finally be enough to take Yoe down. But at what cost? The chase will continue. They'll try to go after Young PH. Skillay will try to save on the IO. They might lose Cuckoo here, though. Cuckoo's still fighting Young PH as they do take them both down. It's a 2-for-4 trade. Like, you get Yoe on the Ember, but it costs you 4 heroes. In fact, it might be 5. Kish is down. It's a full team wipe.
What was Kish still hanging around there? Swap was still available. They managed to get the perfect chain of events. The coordination from TNC, Palace standing right by to instantly get the toss out. You get the full team wipe. Getting the activity out on this Tiny, reminding YG that Palos is still in the game. Has the Shadow Blade flying out now, going straight into an SNY. And you've got the full Ags for Cox with the disassembly on the Echo Saber. So things are just swimming now. For the side of TNC, so much damage on this bench. They have swap saves here.
They certainly do. Cox will save the life of Jing for now, as Hor not going to be too happy with that dual cancellation, and now the chains are blocking both of them down. Oh, it could be another nasty fight as Hor is already gone. Skillay will try to run with the Spirit Vessel from Jing and the chase down from the Weaver. He's just not done. He will drop though, but they will find Skillay. No, they won't. No, they will. Cox will get.
Oh.
Cox will barely get him with the Wave of Terror.
Yeah, he needed to die. Cox needed to die for the mana. He was completely out, so I don't think he minds that at all, although it's still a nice little pickup.
Top. Gish. Watch out, Gish.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's alright.
Oh,
He makes it. He barely makes it. Palos now the one in danger. Palos. We're going to have a talk soon.
Is he?
I mean, he's in danger, John. He's taking some damage. He's down.
Oh.
Cuckoo will need to have a word.
That took another head slap in line. Move that camera further down. Make it darker. That did take longer than you'd expect, though. Again, Craggy Exterior, even at only level 2 damage reduction, is still huge. 4% per stack. 0 damage coming out there from Kish. Needed the Static Storm on top. They get another swap out on top.
Not Horde. I mean, Horde just feels so important for this team. Like, he really needs to start popping off on this LC, but it's just not happening. Stuck at 20 dual damage. He's not going to be too happy with himself as now Jing going to find Zorain. Zorain should be okay this time, though Jing seems like he wants to continue chasing. In fact, Cuckoo is here, so is Yoe, and Zorain is gone. As Jing will try and go on to Young BH, but Kish is going to be around. The Sunray will not be enough to help them out. The chains to lock them down now. The DK, he's just melting to the damage. It's too much. They'll even drop the egg to relocate. They relocate the DK. I've had enough. Get him out of there. Kish will stick around to try and give a nice tether target. He has to be careful because Yoe does have the chains up. Kish, do you want a chrono? He'll jump in. They do find Yoe. Yoe for now in trouble. Will try to find a remnant. The Jewel will lock him down. They'll take down the Empire. Onto Cox they'll go. Cox, he'll swap out. Kish? What? Kish? It's alright. That's okay. He's still looking. Cox in the meantime. He'll go into Horde. They'll find Cuckoo as well, but the Cuckoo does Igrit. Oh, Kish, no.
Oh my god.
Zorain is down. Cox does not care about dying because he has the axe up. What was that?
Oh.
What?
I don't know. It felt like he had it felt like Kish had the opportunity to get some big chronos in there. Never found the angle afterwards. And that time walk to the side, maybe thrown off by the swap? That's the only justification I can see. It does not feel good for Yangon. It's still an important set of kills to find. You kill off Yoe, you kill off the off lane and Cox, you kill off Cuckoo, but you lose way too much in exchange. Like, can't just really awkward circumstances. They had the right ideas in trying to set up for the counterfight, instant TPs out, but Kish kind of hesitates. Again, very good discipline out from the side of TNC to split apart, not give any clear chrono. This time walk, that was just awkward.
It was wrong. The thing is, like, you kill Cox, he doesn't really care. As long as he has that remnant, it's like he never really went anyway. So, the one thing I hate playing against a bench support over is this, like, you just get an axe up, and suddenly it's like, yeah, we killed her, but we didn't really. She's still here.
No. Yeah, it still does a lot of damage. Still a lot of utility with swaps, with Magic Missile, especially as the short starts to come along. Down the line, 24-14, 10k lead. TNC looking to make a play out with a smoke. Linken's being formed up by Yoe to protect from that duel now. It's still lacking the recipe. Already, again, have the Yasha up on Palos.
Notice how they're smoked even though Chrono's up. Like, they're not at all afraid of Kish's Chrono.
It doesn't feel like it even matters. Again, if you chrono out the Tiny, who cares? If you chrono out Yoe, you have swap. Like, as long as Cox is outside, you're relatively happy with that circumstance. You know there's no damage on his Faceless Void. Still bottom network core. Still not at level 20 for the 80 attack speed bonus in chrono. Like, there's no threat in it just yet. It doesn't feel like your damage from outside is that amazing either.
That it does not. Yoe currently watching Kish up at top lane. It's like Roshan might just get started here by TNC now. TNC will head right into the pit. Seems like YG maybe just having no idea this is actually happening, and quite frankly, even if they did, I do not believe they can really contest. So Roshan will freely go the way of YG, or excuse me, rather TNC. On the bright side, this has bought time for Horde to finish off his Aghanim Scepter now in the LC, so his jewels should be a lot safer. He should just be able to guarantee himself a kill every time, or at least guarantee that he can lock somebody down every time without just instantly dying. Even a BKB now up on Young PH, also going to feel very, very nice. But TNC still 11k ahead. still looking to push through this bottom lane.
Yeah, not much to really hold them back. They've got all their spells back up. They've got Egg ready to go. They've got the damage to deal with Palace up front and with Cox around as well. Just gonna be able to clear these objectives. For the side of Yangon, again, when we saw this draft, it has to be execution. It has to be really good chronos, really good static storm usage, very good dual pickoffs that has to come out here for that success to start to pour in on the side of Yangon.
Even with the free shot.
They want to have that hope for game 3.
How does that work anyway? Like
that always feels good.
He's second in net worth and he gets the shots over his supports. Like, how does that work? Like, Jing doesn't have one. Why didn't Jing get it?
No, so all the other cores had it. It's down to just Cox and Jing, and it's a coin flip. Wow. He just wins the coin flip, you know? Higher skill.
I mean, that bouncing magic missile is so annoying to play against. Like, it's
so
just,
good.
It really is nice, I must admit.
It's so good to get it for free on a core Venge as well. You don't want to waste 1,400 gold on that, as you do want more stats as a universal carry type, right? So you get to save the 1.4k, you get even more utility off the Ags, of course, as well as Cox might break the smoke.
Well, they're going to jump in with the Jewel. The problem is he still has the Remnant to play with, and that's
Static
a big
Storm?
Sunray. Static Storm being dropped here on the Venge of all things, who's already dead. Young BH forced to BKB, and now a relocate away. Very messy from YG. Very, very messy. Cox is moving. He might lose his Remnant. Never mind, he bought back. He bought back. Cox is in. Giga Chad Cox, Chrono committed. Who are they going on? Kish, he'll focus down the egg first. Cuckoo is gone, but Kish is in trouble. Run, sir. The magic missile will land. No follow-up to it, though. They'll even buy back on the IO, but Yo is looking for a dieback immediately on skill lane. Not able to find it. The TNC, they are not backing off. Paul will jump in for overwhelming odds, but he just gets annihilated. It's maybe Palos. He might die the first time, or maybe not. Maybe he'll just survive as Cox again. Cox! This man is too hard to deal with sometimes, I'll tell ya. With that, mid-racks down. Onto the tier 3 tower you go. I mean, what do you care about the extended respawn timer, right? He has a Remnant, who cares?
No, it doesn't matter. This is what I love about Venge reacts. Just these quirky buyback opportunities. Palos, he's not dying yet.
No, he's not. The IO skill lane is gone. Young PH is gone. Your Rain is gone. This game is looking gone because Hor gets called out. Now Hor is down. TNC with the full team wipe once again. And nobody really dies as Kish is now getting tipped by Cox. Cox without remorse. And it seems as though TNC, Predator Jonathan, they might be proceeding through to the lower bracket quarterfinal. Not yet.
What storyline?
But they're close.
And this is the content we were looking for from TNC. Yangon, so much promise. Again, they managed to beat down this team in the Open Qualifiers 2-0, no contest. But TNC have learned. TNC have course corrected. Master Cuckoo studied. Made the new plan. They are digging into those tier 4s. Chrono half a minute away. They do have Static Storm, but something miraculous needs to happen in this execution here for Yangon to hold off.
I don't think it's happening, but they're going to try here. John Kish, he just time walks back immediately, not seeing the opening as the Static Storm will be dropped, but is it really doing anything? I don't think it is. Zorain is gone. Kish is still trying to hit them, but he's doing no damage. He's literally tickling Palos right now as Kish is down. He'll buy back, he'll try one last time, but Chrono's 5 seconds away. He still has it on cooldown. Maybe they have a chance. The Ancient is still surviving for now, but surely not for long as Kish is down.
Oh my
GG
God.
is called. Good